Republic.
Hello and welcome you. You're watching a very special episode of Republic Defence. As India prepares for its tri-services exercise, one of the largest tri-services exercise that has been going on for the last few days, Republic Defence has got insight, depth coverage that we are getting, in-depth coverage that we're getting you from the western borders as the final leg of exercise Trishul is underway in the scorching deserts of Rajasthan. In fact, India's war machines roll out in perfect synchrony. From the skies to the sand, the nation's might is now being tested and validated. Exercise Marujuala, the Indian Armed Forces, the largest joint display since Operation Sindhu, where firepower meets future warfare. Apache helicopters, the T-90 battle tanks, all out in display. Ladies and gentlemen, since Operation Sindhu, this by far has been the biggest tri-services exercise that has been carried out. Over the next few days, here on Republic Media Network, we are going to take you through two border areas. One in Porbandar, where the exercise has gained a lot of significance, keeping in mind that this was being done close to Sir Creek area. And tonight what we are going to do is going to take you to Jaisalmer, where the exercise was basically carried out. No other network has got the kind of access that we have got to just get you a sense of how India is prepared. Take a look at this special report.
The Western Front could be India's future battlefield. Final phase of exercise Marujuala, part of tri-services Trishul, rumbles into action in Rajasthan's Jaisalmer. Jointness is the mission. Army, Air Force and allied formations operate as a single lethal organism.
From ground to air, it is the might of the Indian Armed Forces that is being witnessed here as part of exercise Trishul. Right now, we are in the forward area of the Jaisalmer in the Rajasthan, and in this deserts how Indian Armed Forces are proving their might. This is what is evident on ground. From the robotic mules to the Ashni platoons, these are what the Indian Armed Forces next. The modern generation warfare is all about, to these giant tanks, the T-19 tanks to the K9 howitzers that have the capacity to not only to completely decimate the adversary area, but also to ensure that the adversary's any nefarious plan is foiled, because from this very place, when the target goes, it leaves the adversary completely decimated, and that is what the T-90 Bhishma tank is actually known for. Apart from these Bhishma tanks, we also have these precision weapons that have the accuracy as precise as 0 meters, so that the adversary's attempt can be destabilized. And then is the K9 howitzer tanks, those who are capable to actually go into 40 to 50 kilometers into the enemy's territory. So one strike from this very place and it will be the adversary that will be completely decimated. And these men on the tanks, they are capable enough to strike the adversary. We have seen these tanks that how they play a vital role, especially in these deserts where it is almost impossible for everyone to move. They fly like the king and they give adversary that how their nefarious plans will be decimated, because from this very place in Jaisalmer where we are reporting from, and Indian Armed Forces are conducting their largest ever joint exercise Trishul after Operation Sindoor. Here the message is not only from the K9 Ashni platoon, the robotic mules, the T-90 Bhishma tanks, but also the aerial support being given by the Indian Air Force, the Mi-17, the Apache attack helicopters, the advanced light helicopters, and also the Jaguars that are roaring on the skies of Rajasthan.
Steel leads the assault. T-90 Bhishma formation spearhead the ground drive, backed by BM-2 infantry carriers.
This is T-90. This is the tank that is the main battle tank of the Indian Armed Forces. And right now we are moving in the deserts of Rajasthan. In this tank, the Bhishma T-90, which is the savior of India and a decimator of the adversary. These are the pilots, these are the main operators of this tank that is moving on the desert of Rajasthan. And this becomes really an important time, because at a time when we have seen India making it very clear to Pakistan that any misadventure of the adversary will be taken as a provocation and it will have repercussions for the Pakistan. We are moving on the India's military might. Yes, this 125 mm shot, once this goes, it makes sure that the enemy's bunkers and the enemy's infrastructure is decimated. We are moving on a terrain where it is impossible for the other vehicles to even go. But for this one, it can go up to 60 kilometers per hour. And now it's the time that we will race up. We will race up to the full speed. Now the operator is going a full throttle, and you will see that how the adversary feels the heat and how we will also be having to face the desert, because with the top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, this can give the adversary almost zero time to respond to the situation.
The sky dominates the fight. Apache AX-64S provide precision strike and overwatch. Sensors, rockets and guided munitions shaping the battlefield.
Indian Armed Forces are carrying out a large-scale exercise, largest ever post Operation Sindoor, and here are the visuals where you will see the attack helicopters that are part of this operation. This has the joint ground and air validation exercises being carried out by the Indian Army as part of the exercise Trishul. And here you will see the Apache attack helicopters, T-90 Bhishma tanks, as well as the BMPs rolling on the deserts of Rajasthan, close to the Indo-Pakistan international border, and giving adversary a stern message that if adversary dares to challenge the sovereignty of the country, it will be given a befitting reply. This is roughly 50 kilometers from the Indo-Pakistan border, and here this exercise is taking place. This is the exercise Marujuala that is taking place under the command of the Southern Command of Indian Army, that is responsible for the 40% land mass that the Indian Armed Forces, Indian Army actually secures on ground. And here you will see that how the coordinated response is taking place. It is the jointness, Atmanirbharta and the innovation that has been brought in. And here you will see the Apache attack helicopters that are providing an aerial support and aerial assistance to the Indian Army's ground maneuvers. So this is totally a high intensity maneuvers that are taking place here on the ground, that after back to back the ground is being totally covered with the T-90 Bhishma tanks and the BMPs that are taking the troops forward to the adversary area. There are the movements of the troops on ground as well. So it's the mechanized infantry and then the airborne units that are carrying out this drill. This is to actually come up to the modern challenges, the modern warfare that has been witnessed in the past as well, and especially after Operation Sindoor, we have seen that how war has taken a new turn, and now what we are witnessing here in the deserts of Rajasthan, that a joint operation validation is taking place here on the ground.
Precision artillery extends reach. K9 Vajra and 130mm guns deliver long-range fires. Battlefield depth now measured in kilometers.
It's the ground and the air operations that are underway as we speak from the Indo-Pakistan international border. Here you will see how these T-90 tanks on the ground, and it is the drone on the top. Here I'll request Vijay Surendravatji to go to the ground, that how the T-90 tanks and the BMPs are advancing to the enemy's position. Here you will see these main battle tanks that are known to decimate the adversary. They are roaring on the deserts of Rajasthan. This is to ensure that this kind of a warfare where the enemy's success lies on its ground forces, how to decimate these forces. And here you will see that how these tanks are advancing in one of the toughest terrains of the country. Mostly these areas are the ones that are actually the deciding factor for any war that takes place. How these ground maneuvers are taking place along with the aerial support that is being given not only by the Indian Air Force but also the aviation wing of the Indian Army. And here you will see the tanks, the T-90 Bhishma tanks that are the main battle tanks. They are roaring, and here you will see it is the Jaguar fighters on the skies of Rajasthan, very close to the adversary Pakistan. So this sends a clear-cut message to the adversary that what India is preparing for, that if they dare to challenge it, it will be given a befitting reply. And here, though the smoke has taken over, but this also sends a clear-cut message that now the adversary area, this has been completely captured by the Indian ground forces.
Meanwhile, the Ashni drone platoon deploys tactical UAVs for real-time targeting and precision strikes.
Indigenous drones are one of the key assets when it comes to the modern warfare, and right now, as we report from the exercise Marujuala, here the Indian Armed Forces have also brought in their specialized drones. These drones are especially made for the modern warfare. They can not only keep an eye on the adversary but also have the capability to drop the payload. You will see that they have a special place that is built to drop the payload. In this case, this is just a piece of paper, but they can also record what is going on, and that comes to the display to their handlers. So that is in a handheld device, they will be able to see what will happen. And now it is being made airborne as the situation arises. As we continue with the here at the exercise Marujuala in the area, in the deserts of Rajasthan, one thing that sends a clear-cut message to the adversary is the India's preparedness. The preparedness that how India can tackle any threat, not only that how we can do the ground maneuvers to give adversary a befitting reply, but also the systems that have been put in place so that the enemy's warfare threats can be destabilized within no time.
Sudarshan drones penetrate deep, 40 km plus, jam resistant with payload capability. Swarm drones sweep the skies. Drop-capable drones resupply forward troops. Robotic mules push ahead as silent logistic eyes.
After the mechanized infantry vehicles and the aerial support that has been given here on the ground, it's the time for the ground troops of the Indian Army to advance. This is part of the exercise Trishul that is taking place, that how troops of the Indian Army equipped with the sophisticated weapons, they are advancing to the locations of the enemy. Right or the left, wherever you will see, you will find the troops of the Indian Army advancing, because these are the areas are really very challenging. These deserts are the one where they have to ensure that the adversary do not see them even after advancing to the adversary area. So how tactically these troops are moving, that is what you are witnessing here, because here in this desert terrain, the one of the key challenges is survival. So it is not only that they are surviving, but they are also ensuring that they give adversary a befitting reply, and the deployment has been done in such a manner that the rocket launching position is towards the enemy's main target area from where enemy is carrying out the assault.
As power equipments go mobile, the IAF proves that runways are expendable. Highways landing and rapid turnaround sorties are set to sharpen combat realism. Meanwhile, Field Commander's validated tactics, Lieutenant General Dheeraj Seth reviews Akhand Prahar, praising innovation and formation-level adaptability. The message? Self-reliance must be battle-proven.
The robotic mule that you will see, that mule is taking this first aid along with it. This robotic mule is of quite importance, reason being that it has an advanced camera on it that gives an additional support, while on the other hand you will see a drone coming. These are the loitering munition drones that can carry the payload. The payload can be of the form that it can destroy the enemy's area, and it can also provide an assistance to it. You will see robotic mule that is providing the first aid kit to the security forces, while that payload drone is dropping the ammunition for the security forces, for the Indian Army troops that are part of operation. So this is the larger motive of this exercise, that how to validate the operational preparedness of the security forces, that how they can carry out the operation at a time when the challenges are manifold.
From the sands of Jaisalmer, India demonstrates a clear truth. Jointness and self-reliant innovation define battlefield advantage. Prepared for war, prepared to win.
तो ये जो एक्सरसाइज मरुज्वाला, जिसका आप लोगों को सबको ये मौका मिला, इस मरुज्वाला एक्सरसाइज जो अभ्यास हमने रची है, तो सबसे पहली बात मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि ये मरुज्वाला एक्सरसाइज ओवरऑल एक्सरसाइज त्रिशूल, जो कि एक ट्राई सर्विसेज एक्सरसाइज है, उसका एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है, क्योंकि इस मरुज्वाला एक्सरसाइज एक्चुअली पिछले 2 महीने की कार्रवाई का अंतिम चरण था। यानी कि 2 महीने से यहाँ पर सदर्न कमांड का जो सुदर्शन चक्र कोर है, जो कि स्ट्राइक कोर है, वो यहाँ 2 महीने से पूरी मेहनत के साथ अपनी ट्रेनिंग कर रहा है, और उसका जो मेन दस्ता है वो एक शाहबाज डिवीजन, जो एक रैपिड है, वो इसके साथ शामिल है, और इसके अलावा सदर्न कमांड का एविएशन ब्रिगेड, ईडब्ल्यू ब्रिगेड, पैरा एसएफ बटालियन, ये सब एकजुट होकर इन्होंने पिछले 2 महीने में जो कामयाबी हासिल की है, उसका जो फल वो आप सबने आज सुबह मरुज्वाला के तहत देखा। और जो अभी आप लोगों ने मेरे साथ जो खड़े हैं, ये पाथ फाइंडर्स, ये 7 पैरा बटालियन के हैं, एयरबोर्न बटालियन के पाथ फाइंडर्स हैं, जिनको आपने देखा। और ये अंतिम चरण में, क्योंकि एक ये स्ट्रेटेजिक फोर्स होती है, रैपिड रिएक्शन फोर्स, जो स्ट्राइक कोर ने अपने ओवरऑल प्लान बनाया है, उसको आखिर क्षण में अंजाम देने के लिए इनको एक स्ट्रेटेजिक टारगेट दिया जाता है। तो ये आप लोगों ने यहाँ पर देखा। मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहूँगा कि ये जो पिछले 2 महीने से जो कार्रवाई चल रही है, वो तमाम ऑल आर्म्स, यानी कि चाहे वो इन्फेंट्री, आर्मर्ड, मैकेनाइज्ड इन्फेंट्री, इंजीनियर्स, आर्टिलरी, इनके तमाम ऑल आर्म्स दस्तों का लैंड बेस्ड मनूवर की जो ट्रेनिंग थी, उसके ऊपर फोकस था। और मैं बड़ी खुशी से कहना चाहता हूँ कि मेरे साथ यहाँ सुदर्शन चक्र के कोर कमांडर साहब भी मौजूद है, कि सुदर्शन चक्र कोर ने जिस कड़ी मेहनत के साथ ये ट्रेनिंग की है, तो मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि आने वाले समय में इन्होंने जो नए जनरेशन इक्विपमेंट अपने इनको मिले हैं, उनको इन्होंने अपनी ट्रेनिंग में शामिल करते हुए नए टीटीपीज जो निर्धारित किए हैं उनकी ट्रेनिंग की है। और मैं सराहना करना चाहता हूं पूरे सुदर्शन चक्र कोर की कि जिस प्रकार से उन्होंने मेहनत से अपने आप को इस प्रभावशाली मरुज्वाला द्वारा मुझे आज जो दिखाया गया उससे मैं पूरी तरह से संतुष्ट हूं। और इस सुदर्शन चक्र कोर की तमाम इमदादी दस्तों की मैं सराहना करता हूं। और इसी बात से मैं आज ये कहना चाहता हूं कि हम पूरी तरीके से ऑपरेशनली रेडी हैं। जो नया जनरेशन इक्विपमेंट है उसको हमने भली भांति अब्जॉर्ब किया है और आने वाले समय में इस ऑपरेशनल रेडीनेस को हम और बढ़ावा देंगे।
As we are showing you the might of the Indian Army and its soldiers that carry out one of the complex operations along the borders. This is the complex combat freefall, and here you will see the troops of the parachute regiment of the Indian Army, which are also known as the special forces. They are coming. This is a freefall. They have been dropped from a moving C-130 and now they are landing here at a place that has been earmarked earlier. These operations usually are carried out deep inside the enemy's territory with the motive that every troop that comes down, they have a motive and achievement to make, and that is what they have been tasked earlier. So equipped with the sophisticated weapons and the supplies that they have with them, they are now landing at the locations that have already been earmarked. These are complex operations because here it is not only that you have to fight the wind, but also to ensure that as you land you have to be prepared. You will see that once the soldier has come down, first priority of them is to get a bag, that is the supplies that they have been carrying along with them. These are the operations that are carried out deep inside the enemy's territory, like I was mentioning. So there lies the threat that upon landing they have to get into the enemy's line of action, or they have to get themselves engaged with the enemy. So they are prepared for that as well. And now as we speak, you are seeing that how these troops with the help of parachute, they are coming down, and then as they land down they immediately take their position, and these positions are such that it takes them hardly a 60 seconds time so that they can respond to the situation. I'll request Rawatji to show you that as soon as they land, their first priority remains to get down and then to reach their supplies, because their supplies reach 10 seconds prior to them, and then they have to go back to their supplies, get in a position so that if the enemy is there, they can immediately launch an assault on the enemy and can destroy and achieve their target. With Surendra Rawat, Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network.